Hi friend, I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarland Holman.
Today I am going to share a super entertaining YouTube channel for filmmakers, but also for anybody that likes movies.
And I'm going to be teaching you a little introduction to epigenetics. Let's get to it.
My cool sheet is going to be a YouTube channel, and this is Paul E.T. And this guy is great. Again, the reason why I like a lot of these YouTube channels is their personality, and he has a lot. He's kind of dorky, very funny, you know, a little awkward, funny, that kind of awkward humor, but in the best possible way. He had a really big breakout YouTube video called How Filmmakers Make Cameras Disappear, Mirrors in Movies. That one alone got 2.4 million views. And I remember that was the first time I saw that video. But you know, it takes a while before you kind of remember who the person is. You just see the video, everybody's talking about this video, especially because I have my hand on the pulse of a lot of those kind of, especially filmmaking videos. I love them. Then he made one called You Can Make a Netflix style doco about literally anything. So he just talks about the tropes, kind of what Netflix uses. He tells you how to do it super cheap if you only have a budget of $75 or less. The cameras, the lenses you need, but mostly the editing and the music and the B-roll, how to use that, make it all. And it was funny because he made one about toast. And it was ridiculous, but you would have thought that this could have been a Netflix documentary. It was so hilarious. Highly recommend checking that one out too. And then another one that I love, these are only the three that I've seen so far, but even if you just watch one or three of these, it's worth a subscribe for sure. And this is a whole video about the unsung hero in the film industry, the focus puller, which is something you never hear about. It's a super hard job. Since I am in the video industry, I know what focus pullers do and how underappreciated they are. Everybody wants to know about the director, the writer, of course the actors, and maybe the DP, the cinematographer, but no one talks about his right-hand person, the focus puller. It's so important. Definitely check out this YouTube channel, Paul E.T.
I don't know what a focus puller is. So you have to tell us now.
Okay, so essentially when you're...
Were you baiting me there?
No, but I am glad you asked for clarification, because to me that just everybody knows what a focus puller is. Of course, no one knows what a focal... I mean, that was the whole point of the video. Essentially when there's the person, the cinematographer, is the person behind the camera that's getting the shot, framing it, that has that vision with the director. But when a person is walking from the background then to the front of the camera, there is someone, their sole job is to keep that person in sharp focus. Or let's say you're looking at the person in the foreground, in front, near the camera, and then they are looking somewhere towards a fence, a background, whatever, and then you notice that focus is on them, and then it goes to what they're looking at. That's the sole job of the focus puller. It is so hard, especially in moving shots. These people are masterful at their job, and I'm so glad that they got some light, because it is hard, and they are unsung heroes in the film world.
That's amazing.
Because a lot of your emotions, what's in focus is where your mind will go, whether you are conscious of it or not.
Yeah.
So it is all the focus puller doing that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, super, super cool. And it's one of those things now, like in one of our last cool sheets, maybe an episode ago too, if you're on YouTube, or a few cool sheets ago if you're listening on the podcast, where you talked about, now that I've talked about it, you'll notice it more. Just even focus pull, and you'll be like, oh, there's someone that's doing that. Specifically, that's their job only. That's the only thing they do.
I'm going to see it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Super cool.
And going back to your cool sheet, while you were talking, I was thinking I want to make a Netflix type documentary on this, and on this, and on this. So.
It would be, if you're a filmmaker, for sure, it would be a cool little project that you could do to learn the craft and just, get a subject. Because a lot of the times you just can't think of I don't know what to film. There's too many things. I don't know. I've got all these ideas. Just make a really ridiculous. He made a whodunit about someone that stole his toast.
I love it.
It was so cool. And then he shows the finished product at the end of the video, and it's so great. It's hilarious.
And how long are they?
His videos are pretty short. They're in the 10 to 20 range at the max that I've seen, those short ones, very easy to digest and get a lot of cool information.
Well, I'm feeling inspired, so thank you.
You're very welcome.
My cool sheet, I will be talking about a video. This is a YouTube video, and it is called How Changing Your Story Can Change Your Life. This is a 13-minute explanation of epigenetics. When all is said and done, even though the title doesn't say epigenetics in it, if you are curious if that is a term, a word that you've heard before, people talking about biology, people talking about genes, talking about destiny and epigenetics, this is a nice introduction to it. It is based on the ideas and the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton. Our thoughts affect our health and can even affect our genes. This is what he is saying in this video, and he is talking about how our thoughts and attitudes can do this for us. And he started realizing this in the 1970s. He was doing laboratory work on stem cells. Stem cells are the cells that can turn into different types of specific cells depending on their environment. And so this then led to his work and his hypothesis that our cells are then affected by our environment. That's what he kept seeing again and again with these stem cells, and then extrapolated that to us as an organism so that our perception of our environment can also affect our biology essentially. Many of his colleagues, so remember, this was back in the 1970s, many of his colleagues at the time thought he was crazy. But what happened since then in the 1990s, this new field of biology and human health came into vogue. That's when we started hearing that term epigenetics more and more. And it was on the front page of Time magazine. It has come into more highlighted in popular culture much more. And if you haven't heard it before, you'll probably start hearing it more now that I'm talking about it now. So there's a lot more in this video. I'm going to stop there and just encourage you to watch it about all of these things that he talks about, how changing your story can change your life.
Whoa, yeah, I'm going to check this out
as
soon as we're done with the show, because I have heard of that word, but I didn't really know exactly what it meant. Maybe in context, I could kind of put the pieces together, but now I really want to dive in and learn about this.
Yes.
Because it sounds so fascinating.
Absolutely. And when this field, as I said, his colleagues thought he was crazy, and he was actually teaching at a medical school, teaching the old school stuff because what he was discovering in his lab wasn't accepted. So he had to kind of put aside what he felt like was true, what he was observing himself with his experiments, and teaching the old school stuff. But now it has come way more in the forefront, way more accepted. But he does touch upon how there was resistance in it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool that he did, even though he had to kind of put it on the back burner, that he stayed with it, he kept going, and now it's everyone knows and has accepted it finally.
Yeah.
I love that kind of story where that changes in science.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say, well, you said everyone knows. And I was like, no, not everyone knows. But scientists in that field, in biology,
it's been accepted.
For sure.
That it's actually true. That he's not the lone nut to the.
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. And I love that when that happens with science, because it just shows we're always learning new stuff.
Yep. That's what science is about.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people, especially these days, have gotten this misnomer that if science, it is always evolving, and if it changes, then that means it wasn't real, no, that's exactly what science is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Evolving, changing, reanalyzing, making sure that thing is true, and then proving that it's not, or that it is. That's all part of the process, and that's what makes it better and stronger and more true.
Better, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
The scientific method.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, friend. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarland Holman.
And let me know in the comments below, did you know what a focus puller does?
And what do you think about epigenetics? Are you curious to find out more?
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
And please tune in again next week for a whole nother series of great episodes.
And don't forget to stay curious.